And those who are,
교수들도 그렇고 전부 다 그렇더라고요.
and those professors who teaches the classes, and the students who learn from professors are tinted, unmistakably, with these hues and tones of these the materialistic thinking. And in fact, it is so abundant that there is no way to evade any such an influence. Anything not like this, namely good old conservative way of interpreting life, certainly the people will feel that it's out of style. That's out of what he's talking about. That it's all already rejected. It's not, never a fashion. Nobody wears a broad necktie nowadays. Same thing. They just simply won't talk about that. And the people, having no comparison, what they get is the only right thing that they are
이런
getting.
사람들이
This is today's
백아선
young people.
대통령 주변의 모든 비서실에 있는 사람들이요 상하원 중요한 국가 지도층에 전부 다 들어가 있다. 이거 뭐라 그러낸다고. 이게 문제라는 거야. 그 백악관이 문제고 상하원이 문제라는 말을 선생님이 한 것이 그래서 하는 말이다 그야.
This is the very reason why Father says the Congress is a problem, the deep governmental the positions a problem, because these the erring the erroneous thinking are full of occupying full of all the congresses and all the governmental positions. In other words, they are not communist per se, but they are synonymous as communist because their thinking is perfectly communistic, dialectic, materialistic thinking.
그렇기 때문에 선생님 자유세계 이 대표님 미국에 오면서 뭘 했냐면은 교수 지성인 교수를 통합 세계적으로 기합해야 되고 지성인 언론들을 기합해야 된다 하는 논리가 여기서 오릅니다. 이걸 다 가지고 기성 보수 신앙 하나 신의를 중심 삼은 창조라는 것을 중심 상체제에 있어서의 새로운 세계관 설정이 필요하다는 걸 된다고. 그래가지고 공산주의와 리버럴리즘 이 사람들이 능가할 수 있는 하나의 체계를 만들지 않고는 세계는 자연 멸 공산주의에 자동적으로 점령해버리면 안다 하는 것이 결론을 가야 된다. 확실해야 된다고.
So this is why Father, from the very beginning, Father came into America for the dispensation, saw immediately this phenomena, the situation strongly existing in this country and all the advanced countries. So Father said to unite or to bring forth all the people into unity, intellectuals, these professors of all around the world, through ICOS, and bring them forth, and through them give comparison and establish the other side of the philosophy.
학자들 앞에 전부 다 이거 리버럴리즘한 사람들이야. 이 사람들 절대가치를 중요하고 끌고 나 절대가치. 그 사람들은 좋아하지 않는다. 알면서 끌고 나오는 거야.
So to make it, in essence, Father gave them the absolute value. Absolute value was a very highly concentrated dose of everything that has contrary to what's prevailing now. It is, in one word, expressing the creation of God, and the man is in the put of a creator, God in the creator, man in created, and automatically it gives them the contrasting world view. But the professor didn't like that. They said, "What do you mean absolute value? What are you talking about?" As a first response.
그러면서 이 변증법이라든가 이 투쟁제 이 강자가 한다는 그 틀렸다는 사실을 이들 앞에 점차적으로 사생을 투입하는 노름을 생각해야 된다는 얘기예요.
Every year, as the science conference repeats itself in a yearly the performance, they come to gradually realize what Father has been driving at. The many professors saw the direction this conference was going.
그러면서
The point Father was trying to show.
6차 전부터 전부 다 원리 교육을 해서 전부 통화 작업을 해놓은 거죠.
And separating, first presenting, giving a contrasting view to what is existing the view, analyzing them, giving them at the proposal. At the 6th conference on, Father arranged the professor's seminar, where we gave in-depth divine principle lecture and this theistic the view of the world. The professor was fascinated. This is the first time they've ever heard such a strong, what they can identify as the conservative movements, very effective one and very legitimate one, is come into being.
자 그러면서 언론가도 우리 카우사 교육을 전부 다 해가지고 팩팅 투어를 중심 삼아가지고 이 카우사 하나님이 있다는 사상을 집어내가지고 교육해가지고 참 이동하는 거예요.
So through Khausa and through various the efforts we have been doing, the carpet and everything, we have injected the fact that God exists and God has been administering history, and we are very much part of that. With the
그러면서
proof we have been teaching them.
거기에는 이 KGB의 공산주의 세계 조정을 받아가지고 자유세계에 있어서의 뭐냐면 전부 다 이게 이 가치관 폭로를 하는 거예요. 다 막타겟이요. 이러기 때문에 이걸 방어하기 위해서 우리 강력한 저 워싱턴 타임만 들어가서 전격적으로 공산주의 배후라는 건 전부 다 폭파시켜 버린다. 이 노력을 하고 있는 거예요. 언제가 그 노력을 하고 있는 걸 아니야 돼.
So this 영재가요?
어?
네. 언제나. This value perspective, this materialistic value perspective, which have had a one-sided, all-out influence with no matching or the competing influence. The conservatives or the Godistic people already cornered and they've shut their mouth up already long time. This one-sided movement has been checked.
언론계가 지금 전부가 이 워싱턴 이거
And the Washington Times
비서가 한 6만 이 미국 놈들은 완전히 워싱턴 비서가 전부 다 리버럴리즘 됐다는 거야. 그러니까 이걸 중심 삼아 가지고 공격할 수 있는 언론계를 중심 삼아 가지고 워싱턴 전가의 이런 리버럴리즘을 방어해야 되고 비서들이 리버럴한 이 계통을 방어하기 위해서 이론적으로 몰리는 코너에 몰아내는 운동을 하지 않고는 세계를 살릴 수 없기 때문에 이런 운동을 본격적으로 세상의 워싱턴 타임을 중심으로 전국 방송국을 만들지 않으면 안 된다는 사실을 알아야 된다고.
This is the reason why Father created the media or the Washington Times.
여기 지금 뉴욕 트리뷴도 마찬가지.
And New Tribune as well.
미국의 심장부야.
This the heart of America, Washington and New York, with the 60 to 70,000 the secretaries and aides of these government administrators, congressmen, or any influential person, their aides and assistants and the secretaries, whether dominantly the young people, the new generations, they, knowingly, unknowingly, hopelessly influenced and getting increasingly so more and more every year, under the influence of liberalistic way of thinking, not having any alternative. That's the only thing that they get from professors from anywhere, or newspaper, media, so they think that's the only thing.
국회 상원의원 전부 다 봐도 그런 리버럴한 사상이고 말이야. 하원보다 그리고 대통령 관제의 중요 비서장 말이야 리버럴한 주부. 그러니까 자연적 비서들도 전부 다 리버럴하기 때문에 보수적인 모두도 저도 코너에 말라가지고 용실이 됐다. 이걸 어떻게 이것을 혁신하냐는 문제가 제약히 중차의 문제라고 한다.
In other words, it's flooded. There's no leeway which is open to feel otherwise, learn otherwise. These secretaries and assistants who help these important people to formulate their ideas and implement that, they look around, talk to the Congress, talk to court, and talk to wherever they talk to, library, wherever, all they get is this tone and this response of this liberalism. So Father create this Washington Times and the media. And these two, Washington Times and our two newspapers, the New York Tribune, has playing a very important and crucial role of disorienting them or influencing them, guarding them, protecting them against this further infiltration of liberalism.
브레이크를 걸고 리버럴을 브레이크를 걸는 운동을 제시하죠. 그래서 카우사 운동을 이것이 미국에서 할 수 없기 때문에 남미에서부터 기반 닦아가지고 작년 1년에 워싱턴에 들어와가지고 완전히 조성을 할 수 있는 단계에 들어왔기 때문에 이제부터 정부 자체가 리버럴한 계통을 밀어내고 보수파들이 합동해 가지고 이제는 이길 수 있는 실력을 가져가지고 나올 수 있는 이런 기미가 지금 싹 트고 있다는 걸 알아야 돼. 뒤집어진다 이게.
Although not only these newspapers have been instrumental in doing that mission, but also Causa, Father started Causa, directly approaching, criticizing the communism and materialism. And the Father started it not from the North Korea. Father started from the South America, and they advanced up to the north, to North America, to here, and all this time pointing out that around Washington. Then all this conservative, they immediately saw what Father was up to. It was exactly what they were needed. It's exactly they had in mind that they wished that they had. But they didn't have it. They wished somebody would start it. Nobody would start it. But they saw Reverend Moon was the first one.
그렇기 때문에 보수파들이 리버럴한 배 망한다고 방한다고 됐던 이거 망하는 살 수 있고 이 리버럴을 때려치울 수 있는 자신이 여기 있구나. 단결하는 거예요. 그때 왔다고요.
So this conservative, centering on this instrumental, Washington Times and the New York Tribune, they saw there is a central effort, central power. All they had to do is just cluster around there and get together, get united, and ensure their survival.
그래서
And counter this false
요
liberalism.
갑자기 완전 뒤집어놔야 돼.
They almost gave up, but in the last minute, Father tossed them the hope, Washington Times.
그래서
They jumped to that. All the conservatives started gather around. They made the kind of a rally conference, and they started to gain the confidence. Yes, if this is so, we can survive.
자 그래서 이 워싱턴 타임을 10개 도시에 확대해가지고 전국에 선동 이 리버럴리즘을 몰아내는 선동 기관으로 이것을 세우지 않으면 안 된다는 것은 이건 지극히 미국 생사 문제를 걸고 있다는 거 아니에요.
Father, knowing that prototype worked, was successful, immediately Father decided we will expand that. Father will expand that into 10 different states, the capital of the 10 states. Then we will launch an offensive, not the defensive, offensive of educating the people, pumping the people right kind of a thought, which America needed. And when that get the better of the false, seemingly natural development of the communistic, the liberalistic thinking, and chase that out, whether you succeed this or not, will be directly linked to the survival of America.
그래서-
Whether America will live or die will depend on this.
그래서 진화는 혹은 변증법 투쟁처럼 강자승한다는 이런 지금까지 리버럴리즘 철학적 사상이 완전히 뒤집히지가 이게 신이었다는 거짓말이구나. 신이 있구나 하는 걸 거기서 혁명이 이미 벌어지고 있다는 사실 아니에요. 이걸 알아야 돼. 확실한 얘기야.
So we must
혁명이 이미 벌어지고 있다는.
clearly bear in mind, this is the essence of what is going on in intellectual, the life, intellectual life. That so far the people have been under the influence that the strongest will survive. There's no such a thing as justice. There's no such a thing as God. If so, why would the world be like this? You know, the age-old the blame. So, but with this offensive of ours in the Godism and unificationism, now the people gain the insight. This is it. Not those that once they thought it might be it is not it. Now they see that.
리버럴리즘까지도 돌아가는 것 같다. 돌아가고 있다.
So we see this liberalism quickly themselves, not only this conservative gaining, oh, I knew it, after all, I was right. The conservatism who have been cornered, not only regain their consciousness and also confidence, but also even the liberalists themselves begin to see they were in error.
이렇게 볼 때 자유주의 보수파들이 지금 교회를 갖고 있고 무슨 교단을 갖고 있는 조직이라는 것이 전국에 이런 사상적 무장을 해가지고 영향을 미칠 수 있는 보수주의의 교단 조직과 통일교 레브런문주의 이러한 이 사상적 대결 조직과 비교할 때 레브런문 통일교의 조직과 비교하다가 보수파들 알고 있다. 그러네 돼. 알게 됐다는 거야.
So the conservatives, since they have a certain pride, they thought they will be the main central power to influence the world. But they knew very well that they are far less powerful than this main effort launched by Reverend Moon. The moment they saw what Father is getting at and launching at, they immediately saw they are far inferior to what Reverend Moon has been doing and can do.
그래서 이
can't realize that.
보수주의의 최고 지도자들은 희망이 없기 때문에 나를 찾아와 가지고 앞장서달라 하는 그런 부탁들이 많이 들어와 가지고 지금은 그런 자리에 섰다는 사실을 알아야 돼.
So it's natural that all the conservative, knowing what they want to propagate is right, but they don't have a power. They know that very much. But when Father started doing that, then all of a sudden they saw hope. I cannot do it, but Reverend Moon can. So why not Reverend Moon lead us our way, and we will support. That is why the conservative leaders came to Father asking for his leadership.
그래서 워싱턴 비서들을 전부 다 이것을 돌려놓아야 되었고 그 다음에는 백악관에서 이 카오사 운동을 해갖고 상원, 의원, 하원에서 카오사 교육 3일씩 4일씩만 끝나면 문제가 크다고야. 왕창 돌아가다 보니까 왕창.
So Khalsa will implement its study, its lecture, to all the secretaries and assistants of the congressmen, of the White House, of these major influential governmental positions.
아, 상원 하원에서 가서 그래서 4일씩만 그 수련회만 다 끝난다고 그러는 거야.
And even the Senate upper house and the lower house, the House of Representatives, Khausa will go and give them the 3 days lecture about the Khausa,
그럼
the unificationism.
상원이 세네터 전부 들어가, 하원 전부 들어간다. 백악관 들어간다.
Once they hear,
이 비서실 들어가면 완전히 자유세계의 지금까지의 사상적인 모든 진화론적인 혹은 이 변증법적 투쟁을 중에 힘을 상징하는 사상에 근거한 모든 것을 완전히 격파해서 새로운 풍토를 만들 수 있다고 여기서부터 세계적인 새로운 혁명의 기반이 다져나 보는 거예요.
the moment congressman and the senator will listen to the 3 days council lecture, immediately things will clear up. Such an ambiguity of thought, such a confusion in thought, which they felt but could not explain, will become very obvious. Aha, they will for the first time see clearly like a blue sky that this is it, this is a solution. This is the basic basis of the thought. This is where we were confused. This is where it was all ambiguous. This is how we did not have any new solution. These things will become obvious solutions.
이러한 사상관, 이러한 관점에서 보수 세계의 중진들과 합해가지고 가지고 미국 전역의 미국 전역의 사회단체, 전역의 재벌들 이것을 구성 깨맬 수 있는 활동 운동이 이미 진행을 한 데가 어렵다. 전 시작한 데가 어렵다고 해야 돼.
So starting from the Congress, White House, and all the secretaries and assistants to major offices, not only that, to the representatives of conservatives, the major people, then all the top, the entrepreneurs, the enterprising, the businesses, in other words, their executives. Once in that order, once they have been exposed to the 3-day Khausa seminar, its contents, immediately their head and their thought will get clear. And this father has already started long time ago.
지금 기독교 이 저주권 내와 우리가 관계된 것이 1만 8천 명, 18만 명에 해당하는 목사들이 여기에 관계되어 있다는 사실을 알아야 돼. 무슨 말이야? 한 2만 되는 이런 목사들인데 거기에 18만에 해당하는 목사들이 이 휘하에 들어와 있다는 사실을 알아야 된다고.
There are about 220 ministers and clergymen in the rough the statistics. Out of that, 180,000 come under our influence, directly or indirectly. This Khausa instigated, Khausa
그 안에 여러분들이
presented
모르는 단체 이름
thoughts and ideas.
5개 큰 단체를 만들었다고. 여러분 모른다고. 이 얘기를 하는
During this time, Father helped to create. Actually, Father conceived and created, but everybody they participated in, and the 5 big, major groups to aid this cause. Major organizations, of which Father will not mention at this time.
그것을 만들어서
Do you understand?
이래서 보수주의나 민주당이나 중상고 힘의 대결에 있어서 우리가 조직적인 기반을 중심 삼고
So, Father,
능가할 수 있는 기반을 갖지 않고는 미국을 수호하지 못한다고 그러는 거예요.
without creating foundation which will be equivalent or stronger than the opposing liberalistic basis and foundations, the justice and the truth cannot prevail. Father knew that. This is why Father said, those without foundation is sad people. So Father always made this foundation.
여러분 이번에 가히 근 3개월 동안 언론기관들이 전부 다 돌아간 것은 그러한 힘을 통해서 공격을 한 거예요.
And we only saw the end result, a bit of end result, that much conservative or the clergy people saw this new trend of movement, and they were happy, all were happy. This is just a tip of the results where Father, by organizing effort of placing these important groups or the organizations and solidifying all that, forming a front, Father has been kind of pushing strongly, not only spiritually, but physically as well.
그래서 언론기관 안 통한다.
So there's nowhere we did not influence in the media community.
모든 기자들 전부 다 조스를 백방으로 총공세라.
So we are kind of bombarding and attacking through ideology, not by weapon. Through ideology, through ideas and ideologies, thoughts, it's professors, media people, lawyers, all these the men of influence, men of the mainstream
그래서 이
with these
사상적인
thoughts.
근거를 때려부시.
And shatter into pieces
인텔리겐트의 이 아이디얼 베이스멘트를
erroneous, false
일면으시.
foundation of their belief and thoughts, namely dialectic materialism, or that materialism-oriented way of thinking,
그래서 이 공산당
basis of thinking.
그러니까 공산당이 이거 레브레문도 안 하다. 그래 레브레문 암살 기억을 합니다.
Before the general public who have been influenced come to realize that communists are the one who knew this immediately. When they saw the father becoming so effective, the communist was the first one that got alarmed.
그것을 안 상원 하원인들은 레브레문 꽁무니 잡았다. 내가 말 안 만나지. 여기 저 앉아서 어떤 사람들 말이야. 아저마자 그런데 내무장관 하던 사람들 내가 내 일을 하는 데 있어서 1년이 지내고 다 한 번도 안 만나. 지금 내 앞에서 일하는 국회의원 상원은 지금 만 한 번도 안 만나고 지금 일시켜 먹는 거야.
And Dr. Anderson, for instance, this is a very good testimonial proof that Dr. Anderson, who has not even seen father or met father, or sat together and ate any dinner or anything like that. Father never spoke to him a minute or 5 minutes. Simply he never seen father, but then he was the one who saw immediately, who saw insightfully what father was doing. That's why he is, without sleep, he is doing father's work now. Knowing that that's the hope, and he's got the hope, so he's working so hard, and father's just simply giving instruction. That's all.
지금 와서
He'll do it.
내가 만나자 하는 무슨 상관이든 하원 누구든지 만나자 만나기로 했지.
And also many other congressmen, senators, now very anxious to see father because of that meaning, because of that reality. They realize this, so they want to see father. But then a day too late, father would not see them. Years ago, father gladly saw them, but now father never sees them.
그 이런 말 처음 듣지?
And this is kind of first time we hear about from father's own mouth, isn't it?
아이고 뜻이 언제 이루어지겠노? 우리 선생님 불쌍하고 노들 동정 받은 그 선생 아닌가 그래야 돼.
So you say, you know yourself, so you say, oh, when would this God's will be done? We know very well what we are. Father depending very much on us, oh, father is a pitiful man. No, father is not a pitiful man. Father has not been depending on us entirely, but father has been depending on this natural movement which father created.
미국 나라가 하지 못하는 걸 내가 이거 하는 거 쉬울까요? 그것을 취인식에 나온 배후의 공작과 배후 실천이 얼마나 어려울까 너 생각해봤어?
Even we can understand this is such an impactful thing. It gives you insight. Extremely important but extremely difficult task. Can you stop to think?
America government doesn't do that kind of doesn't making that kind of foundation.
This is a kind of a thing the country must do, government must do.
The American world cannot do it.
Or even the world government cannot do it, and you know that. But father created this all single-handed.
One man, Reverend Moon, can make this like a foundation. That is easy way, difficult way.
But you know it's very difficult way.
All American government against me. That kind of situation can make this like foundation. That is easy way, difficult way. How much difficult way?
So we begin to see how difficult it is that father
생명을 내놓고서
did this in the past few years without our knowing. It was literally betting father's own life. Father took on this venture.
왜 이런 얘기를 하냐면 너희들도 정신 차리라고 말이라고.
Now why father then give this to talk to you? Now it's a time that we braced ourselves up. Even belated, even late, we must understand what father did and what foundation we are standing on.
상원의원에 가서 연설도 해야 돼, 강연도 원리 말씀도 해야 돼, 가우사 강연도 해야 되고 모든 지방 모든 각 기관 대표들 앞에 가가지고 강연할 날이 불안하게 온다는 거야. 목소리라고 왔다는 거야.
And father knows, in a shortest period of time, every one of you, all of you, are asked to go to speak to the floor, go to the Congress, go to important meetings, and you are asked to speak. What are you going to speak? And where does the
너들은
confidence
모르지만 그런
orientation come?
선생님이 준비하면서 너들이 50분 이상 비디오 테이프를 읽으라고 강의하면 안 된다고 이렇게 이놈의 자식들 전부 다 꿈과 같은 얘기를 하고 있다고.
Father knew father will very soon make this foundation. separately. And when that time comes, Father will tell you, go there and do the lecture. Then they say, Father, haven't I prepared the lecture? That's why Father said, 50 times you read this video, because that was a part of
그래서
the
금년에
preparation.
들어서면 전부 다 회의 때마다 가요. 회의 때마다 회의 때마다 시간이야.
So starting this year, starting last year, every time we have a national leaders conference, such as this, state leaders conference, we have a special seminar. Every and each one of them asked to come and demonstrate the lecture. It's not because the Father did it by whim. Father had a specific purpose.
이런 세밀히 야구면 정치하는 그런 뭐라기 세계적인 할수 없이 입다물고 있다는 사실 알아야 된다.
Until now, Father simply told us, practice lecture, that was all. Why Father never told us? Now the time is getting short and Father is telling you that this is why. If Father talked to this 2-3 years ago, even if you believed, then the people will criticize against the Father. Oh, Reverend Moon, he's a man of religion, but he's very political. We did not want to unnecessary impression like that. But now you know why Father told you to lecture. Because you are asked to lecture for them about Godism. But and it's a great the period testing too. Once we give them lecture, you give them lecture, and they accept this is fine. If they oppose you and oppose consistently without any reason oppose, then we know he is an advocate of communism or he's a forerunner of communism. Whether that be senator, whether that congressman, it doesn't make any difference. He is influenced. He is kind of a working for communist. Period. It becomes very apparent.
그건 무슨 말이겠어?
Do you understand?
그런 일을 해야 되겠나 안 해야 되겠나? 대답해보라.
Now, in your opinion, if you are in Father's position of classifying and educating the people, wouldn't you do this?
그 지금 내 선생님 말하는 게 맞을 것 같아, 안 맞을 것 맞는 것 같은가? 이거 좀 공포얘기야 민주세계의 구성 내용이 그렇게 된 것 같아. 어떻게 얘기해보라고. 선생님 말하는 게 맞는 건가 안 맞는 거 보라고.
Until this moment, you never thought so deeply. Okay, but even a short talk of Father, which Father happened to give us this afternoon, just that much. Do you that this is absolutely necessary to classify, select, and to guard rightly?
Yeah, Father, talking about this, talking about fear is reasonable or not?
Unreasonable.
그렇다고.
It is. Father knows it is.
그 보수 세계를 완전히 기억할 수 있다는 사실을 알아야지.
So this is how Father was able to unite the conservative efforts.
그래서
Which America needed to unite them.
가지고 10개 도시의 중요한 요원들이 전부 다 와싱턴 지부 설정을 서둘러 가지고 지금 그 일을 하기 위해서 완전히 배치돼 있다는 완전히 지시가 돼 있다는 사실을 알아야 된다.
With their expression of hope, they said, please do. With their moral support such as this, Father now began to undertake expanding our paper into 10 major cities. Not just one-sided like Father did in the very beginning.
이달에 지금 샌프란시스코부터 시작하는 거죠.
So the immediately next one starts from San Francisco in this month.
이런 긴박한 실정에 도달한 이것을 아는 우리들이 이 워싱턴 타임을 급진적인 발전을 시켜야 되겠다 안 시켰나?
So here, Father would like to ask a serious question. We are in the midst of this trend, this fast movement of time. And the Washington Times is so instrumental in correcting America's course. Now, in such a situation, if you were Father, should or shouldn't Father expand this Washington Times very quickly and efficiently? Literally, America's well-being or America's life and death depend on how efficiently Washington Times will undertake launch its activity in next a few months to come or a few years to come. Do you understand? Our own country, our own people, America's own country and people is at stake. We have to propagate, we have to promote this Washington Times with all of our effort, or else time will not wait for us.
알겠어 무슨 말인지.
Do you understand?
그럼 너들 맛있는 타임 책임 좀 어디 할 거야 안 할 거야?
So, if Father gave a portion of responsibility to you, subdivided this responsibility of promoting Washington Times to you, with this imminent the reason, this imminent the threat of time,
할 거야.
would you or would you not participate in Father's instruction?
그럼 그 보수주의의 이 지방 장들 된 놈들 가르칠 줄 능력이 있어. 못 가르칠 거야. 그냥 너들 말 듣고 어때? 젊은 새파란 젊은.
Maybe you understand yourself what Father is saying, but how can you make others understand? Do you have that kind of the ability to do so?
전부 다 상원의원 출신, 전부 다 하원의원 출신, 전부 다 이게 유명한 그 네임벨을 그 과거 사람들이 전부 다 중진돼가지고 기다리고 있는데 거기에 새파란 너들 어떻게 지도할 거야? 사상적으로 무장하면 안 된다고 말이라고.
This congressman, these senators, seasoned many terms, the congressmen, senators who are shrewd, who are experienced. How can a green horse like yourself, the really green one, will ever hope to go and have a person-to-person conversation or carry out 5 minutes conversation?
사상을 무장해가지고.
This is why Father expects you to.
말씀을 해야 되고 가우사 말씀을 해야 되고 통일 사상을 말해가지고 그들이 크지만은 선생님 할 수 있는 이러한 기반 납지 않고는 이 나라에서 자유식을 살릴 길이 없기 때문에 레브런님이 밤낮은 너들 만나가 이게 뭐야? 하루 종일 이게 뭐야? 하루 종일.
Quickly and saturated way, is such a way the Father wanted to give you the confidence, utmost confidence, absolute confidence, and the ability to not only you being convinced, but also be able to convince other people like senators and congressmen in your strong thought, basic thought, and divine principle, and armamented, fortified with this basic thought and philosophy. Only with that armament you can equally treat the congressmen and senators. Don't you see that?
알아듣겠어?
Do you understand what Father is getting at?
너들 지금까지
You must arm yourself quickly.
너들은 반대 꿈꾸는 이때 이런 기반 닦은 선생님이 지금 뭘 하고 있는 거 아직까지 모르겠어.
This is why Father starts from all in the morning and until the evening. Father gives us up what seems to be abstract thought to you, some dozing off, but Father is kind of desperate in giving this, making you to understand what you need is a strong thought.
보통 교회 목사들 설교는 한 번 하면 되지. 이게 뭐야 이게? 너들 무슨 관계냐 말이야?
If this was an ordinary existing Christian churches, the sermon should end in 1 hour at most, 30 minutes maybe. That's more like it. But here in Father, in our Unification Church and in our family members, Father started talking 9 o'clock in the morning to the late in the evening, and Father probably will go on and on.
너희들이
Over and over again,
너희들이
insisting.
자유세계와 민주세계와 이것을 그래서 참 생사직권의 자유가 내가 이런 걸 알아야 된다고.
Because
이것을 못해놓으면 큰일 난다기야.
literally, life and death of this country and the people depends on the success and failure of our Unification Church members. You, namely,
responsibility.
your responsibility. If you act efficiently, America will live.
그렇기 때문에 이러고 있다는 걸 된다고.
This is why Father taking so much toil, making so much trouble of arousing your thinking and making you
너는
understand.
3일 거정 전부 다 있고 4일 뭐 이렇게 이렇게 뭐야? 근데 얼른 번역한데.
You might have
이 말 안 하면 안 되겠다고. 이 말 하면 안 되겠다고. 이거 모르면 안 되겠다고.
You might have thought, oh Father, Parents' Day 3 days ago, we have celebrated that very, very finely, and we had the good days of training. Now, so Father, how long are you going to keep us? Well, let's all go forward and let's get to the late work. But not so. This is a very crucial thing Father wanted to say to you.
이러한 사람, 이러한 레브런 분이 미국에 와서 이놈을 해줬기는 그런지 미국 어떻게 됐을 거야? 앞으로 이 자유세가 어떻게 되는 거야?
You may think you now begin to see the clear hope now, but what made it? We must understand first to understand the nature of the problem really clearly. It was because of Father who started all of these things, this basic move Father already made, the basic arrangement Father made, which Father has just explained last couple of hours. Without our knowing, because of these, we begin to see the hope we are seeing now.
그게 자유로운 환경이야 반대받으려 법정 투쟁하면서 이러고 있는 거야.
In the meantime, all along, American members, President, and all down to the new members, had more feeling of complaint than appreciation because their going is tough.
미국,
But the existing church don't do it.
특정
Why
특정에
should we do it? That kind of way.
most
And-
best 죄에서 이놈을 하고
And the worst situation one can ever conceive. The government is
얼마나
always
선생님
trying
동정해서
to
이놈 자식들아.
get after father. How much have we sympathized father's situation? This is we have to think about.
이제라도 아리아 갔다 이제라도.
Even now, it is way too late. Still, better late than never. We must clearly understand what father did for America and for us, and we regain our utmost confidence.
리버럴한 국회의원 백악관에서 모가지를 잘라버리자는 것 같은 이런 일을 지금 하고 있다는 사실.
You must clearly understand those liberal, those really harmful congressmen and senators for this country and all the free world for that matter. It is up to you to wring their neck. And you say, who, me? Yes, you. Yes, all of us will have to
누구도 모르게.
correct
누구도 모르게.
this harmful, ideologically extremely harmful. The one who helps to lead America direct into perishment. We have to oppose these people. Opposing these wrong people is our mission, as well as promoting good people.
일단은 소문내면 안 되는 거야.
We shouldn't do that. Reverend Moon told us to do that. That's why I'm doing. Of course we shouldn't.
그렇네. 그 비하인드, 오거나이지스 비하인드에 레버런이 있다고 하면 안 되겠다.
Also, these the front organizations, extremely effective organizations, say, "Oh, by the way, that's what Reverend Moon started, and he's coaching that all the time." You shouldn't say that.
전부 다 외부 사람이다.
It's it's internal secret. We know it. It's no secret among us, but wouldn't help anybody if outside people knew very much about that. So there's no sense of mentioning that. You understand that. But we know who created it,
이런 실정에서 그 누군가 해야 되겠지.
and somebody must do this. Isn't that right?
너들이 그런 생각을 해서 선생.
Some American must do it.
들으니까 그렇구나.
Now you never even dreamed that it would be one of us who would do it, or all of us who would do it. It's now that Father giving us everything, hiding nothing. Father gives us all the explanation what had happened in last
3개월 동안에
decade.
3개월 동안에 원래니까 들어갔으니 이제 한 3년쯤은 얼마나 들어가는 생각해보라고.
Think, in last 3 months, mere 3 months, media changed. Don't you see that? There's hardly any media who is antagonistic towards us, like they always been. 3 months, mere 3 months, slightly more than 3 months, media world turned. How much longer it will take for the other area turn?
자,
Political areas.
이런 저주를 쓰다는 그 상원을 하나 만들 수 있다는 없잖아.
With this father's organization, not concept but this reality, and with that track record of father, will he or will he not be practically powerful enough to make a Susan, that one sister,
It's like a small woman,
small woman,
not powerful.
not so powerful small woman into a congresswoman? Do you think a father can do that? Senator woman.
내가 웃을까 아니라고 웃을까.
That's
너무 자식들 같은. 그래서 신학교를 만들어가지고 지금 한 400명 가까운 졸업생이 나온다 이번.
what did we do in the meantime? Father created Barrytown Theological Seminary, didn't Father? There they taught everything there is to know about religious world, didn't it? Existing church. 2 years they learned nothing but what the church people think, how Iranians they think,
그 졸업생 400명
All of that.
졸업생을 냈다고. 여기 있으면
and we have
얼마나
400 plus graduates now. They have a formidable power, don't you see that?
그 사람들이 전부
It's
다
the apex of the intellectual,
강력한
theological. And they are almighty. You see, the knowledge is almighty.
자, 그러니까 선생님이 하라는 대로 해야 되나 안 해야 되나 물어. 다 답변하라.
Now, with
놈의
this
정신 빠진 놈의 자식.
meticulous foundation Father made in the past, now giving everything to you, reserving nothing, should you or shouldn't you be the first one to run or out there and take the advantage of Father's efforts?
너 여기 마이크 월드가 뭐 털들고 앉아가지고 뭐 자기 취직하고 털들고 부수고 나갔는데 여기 워싱턴에 지금 현재 뭐인가 무슨 파운데이션? 헤리테이지 파운데이션 거기에 과장 해먹다가 그 사장이 우리하고 싸워가지고 전부 다 파괴하다가 다리 들리게 되니까 참 그래가지고 걸려가지고 그런 말이야. 마이크 월드면 하시니까 자기들 기술을 다 주세요. 알아?
Did you know the Michael Water unfortunate incident among us? That he thought he didn't believe in. He didn't believe that, and so he he dropped out of the church, and he got the job in the Heritage Foundation. Very much similar thing what we are doing, only that we are far more efficient than that. So he got the job there. So he was promoted to like a middle, the core, the ranking staff. Now, by and by, that Heritage Foundation's president got involved to fight against us, and he became to lose from us, over us. In other words, we got over him. So he estimated the situation that leaving Michael Water in his outfit will not help the unit or the organization. So somehow, without the clear reason, he kind of fired the Michael Water. Where does Michael Water stand?
내가 뭐 지시를 복수한다고 내처럼 얘기 안 했다고.
Father never told the president to fire him. He, knowing firing him will be advantageous with the relationship with father,
So that
he
we
went ahead
need-
and
we-
fired him.
So that we need power, we need foundation,
So you see,
strong foundation.
if father didn't have a power to demonstrate, the president of the Heritage Foundation would never have autonomously the voluntarily fired Mike Water just to kind of please father in an indirect way. He thought he was pleasing father, by the way. So he fired him. The world is turning around that fast.
이놈의 자식들도 참 그러게 된다고. 예?
So we must understand. We must
이
understand.
말하는 것은 너들한테 자랑하려고 하는 너를 정신 차리라고 말이야, 정신 차리라고.
The purpose of this talk, never boasting anyway, but we must
그러기 때문에-
stand up our own
예,
feet
그렇기
now.
때문에 CIA, FBI의 변물을 무서워하는 사람이야.
We must be
이야, 저 양반이 뭐야.
we must be attentive now. We must wake up, and this is why CIA and FBI know much more than we know about our own church.
응? 독일이나
We don't think we are that
내가
powerful,
가장
but they do.
나라가 돌아가는 그것을 느끼기 때문에 반대하는 건 아니고.
CIA, FBI know the potential of unification church and actual things influence that we are exercising in Europe and other countries. And also those people who oppose us, because once we rise up, then they, who are the advocates of the false, must, decline down. That's why they want to.
너무 길게 하더만 내가 얘기하는 거 말하고 자. 어? 자, 이제 워싱턴 타임을 급진적인 발전시켜야 되나 안 시켜야 되나?
So should we or shouldn't we drastically improve the develop of Washington Times?
자, 못 갖고,
With what?
못 갖고.
With what? With what would we develop our Washington Times quickly?
그래 이제 money power first one, 이제 money power, next one man power, organization power 그래야 된다고.
You heard that.
내가 돈에 대해서 사프라 해야겠다.
Money,
man power 사프라 해야 돼.
money, Father will worry about. Manpower, you worry about.
그래 내가 안 그래야 되나?
Fair enough.
내가 이 한국 사람 나서 내가 이 미국 놈들 내세요.
If Father did it or Orientals did it, do you think it would be leave a good impression to America? No. Well, a father will worry about money, as it
이놈의
is.
남자들은 여자들 내세요. 남자들은 여자들 쓰요.
Especially women. Father would like a.
남자들이 맞아가는 말이야.
If the man cannot do that, then a father would like
choose woman.
to raise up a woman and choose women and let women do a man's job.
어때?
How about men? You feel good?
Man can do it or not? 어때 뭐야? 내 시간이 많이 써갔다. 너들 딸들 많다. 꽁물이 나가고 뭐 별물 주고 다
Father heard the loud yes for many times.
뭐 삼십니까 이놈의 자식이 한국 놈이나 미사일 놈이나 마찬가지야.
And the Korean as well. But are we really going to do that? Are we going to assume the responsibility of manpower?
그래도 내 말을 잘 듣기 때문에 지금 한국 놈 자체 리저널 들어서 어제 밤새껏 얘기했다. 밤새껏 얘기 어떤 데서 좋은 데서
Unworthy that may be,
잘 판다지 좋은 데서도
Father took lots of toil. Late last night, Father gave all the talk, detailed talk, deep talk to Korean leaders because they are more listening than anybody else. But Someone was even dozing off.
정신 들어? 정신 들었어?
Today,
Huh?
do you feel like dozing off now?
아, 정신을 들었나 말이야.
That means are you attentive now?
I ask you, now is clear head, clear brain.
Now the spirit came back to you.
너무 잘했다. 자, 선생님이 이 나라에서 고생했네. 그 앉아서 이런 일이 될 것 같아 생각해보라고.
Did Father come to this country and suffered so much, worked so hard, or not? Do you think Father can sit here with the authority alone? Father can talk to you like this? Do you think so?
Yeah.
In this country, by authority alone, doing nothing, just tell you it will become like that, and that those indeed will become like that? No, it takes